What's up, guys? It's MB Boxing. I just finished up watching John Scrappy Ramirez versus Ronal Batista, and this was a 12-rounder for the WBA Super Flyweight World Title Eliminator. And this fight was Saturday, October 21st, from the Kia Forum in Inglewood, California. And this fight was broadcasted on DAZN. And in this fight, John Scrappy Ramirez was able to get the best victory of his career by far, defeating former world title challenger Ronal Batista by stoppage after 4 rounds. So let me just say this first. This was actually a pretty impressive win for Ramirez. He looked very solid in this fight, looked very powerful, very strong, and I'll get into why this was an impressive win. So leading up to the stoppage, this one scored 29-28 in favor of Scrappy Ramirez. So yeah, just to get into my scorecard and how the fight was going. The first round, not really much was going on, but Ramirez was a bit more active, just going forward, throwing a bit more combinations, just doing a bit more. Batista had some of his moments a bit outside, but not enough. Round number 2, though, was fairly interesting. Batista started to box a bit more, started to throw a lot of shots, and I thought Batista edged the second round just by a bit by landing some decent shots and uppercuts from the outside. But Ramirez had his moments in that round as well, but I thought that Batista was slightly better. Then in the third round, Scrappy Ramirez started to really get at Ronal Batista, started to go forward more, started to land heavier combinations, looked a bit more confident, and looked like he had Batista a bit shaken in that third round, just pressing him, throwing big power punches, and was really getting to him in that round. Then in the fourth round, John Scrappy Ramirez saw an opening, was going forward on Batista, landed a right hand to the temple. There was a delayed reaction, and Batista went down to his knee, and that was the first knockdown. He got up almost at the count of 10, and then it was all Ramirez from there, just going forward, pressing him. Then he got Batista on the ropes, was throwing huge combinations on him. Batista was trying to throw back, then he got caught with another big right hand, dropped, and the referee waved it off. So yeah, very good win for Scrappy Ramirez. Best win of his career, definitely thus far. Batista, the reason why it's an impressive win is because Batista, leading up to this fight, in his one world title appearance, he did get stopped by Julio Cesar Martinez in 11. And that's in 11 rounds by Martinez. And then he also went the distance with Mikhail Aloyan, who's also a very solid fighter. And then in his first loss, he got stopped by Leostan Nunez in 4. But his other 2 losses, which happened more recently in his career, not 6 years ago, like his first loss, they were against quality opposition, and he went 11 and 12 rounds respectively with 2 very solid fighters. So, I mean, for Ramirez to get him out in 4, I think it's a fairly impressive victory, and yeah, definitely a good win for him. So this goes into question, what is next for John Scrappy Ramirez? He is now 13-0 with 9 KOs after somewhat of an unimpressive performance in his recent fights, getting a split decision win over Fernando Diaz in his last fight. This was a complete turnaround, looked excellent here. Winning a WBA eliminator, this could open up many options. He could possibly fight in yet another eliminator against an even higher ranked fighter in the WBA. And at super flyweight, I mean, if he's going to continue on fighting these guys who are ranked by the WBA, I mean, he could get a world title shot. But considering that, I know this was an eliminator, but it wasn't really a known eliminator. And Batista himself, I don't really think Batista is really a true super flyweight. He had his last fight at flyweight for the title against Julio Cesar Martinez. So I think that we could see Scrappy Ramirez in there against someone else highly rated by the WBA in his next fight. But as for Ronal Batista, I think he's going to go back to the drawing board, maybe get a few wins in his native Panama before coming back as the B-side on possibly one of these Golden Boy cards broadcasted on DAZN. So overall, John Scrappy Ramirez was able to get a 4th round stoppage victory over former world title challenger Ronal Batista to win the WBA Super Flyweight World Title Eliminator. And yeah, that's really it. I'm MB Boxing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.